Good day, everyone, wherever you are watching from. Thanks for logging in today. We appreciate your support and your time regarding today's discussion. My name is Shubulala Lamide. Welcome you to this Launch channel. Today's topic is entrepreneurship. Is the continuation of our first session of career and college readiness, whereby we discuss about how our children should choose their major and how to move on, not get stuck into what they want to do, like parents should get involved in it. So that if you have not watched that session, you can find us on YouTube or Facebook and check us out at Views Launch. Before we dive into today's discussion, if you have question, contribution, or comment, you can put it on chat box. We'll get onto it during the Q&A session. And also, if you have a topic or story you would like to share with us or you want us to discuss, you can as well send us an email at info@viewlaunch.com. In today's discussion, we are going to learn about entrepreneurs and the necessary information we need to succeed in as a business owner. I have a great panel with me today that are going to take us through how to be successful in our business. They are waiting for us. Let's meet them now. Welcome back to today's topic, entrepreneurship. My co-host today is Sheyi Oladigbolu. I would like to introduce our guest speakers of today. I have Dr. Leke Otunuga and Mr. Frank Savumi. They are entrepreneurs. So I also have Mr. Wixie, who's going to take us through how to start a business and give us a tips on how to get grants and loans. I also have my humble husband here, Mr. Kamil Didi. He is the man I've married to over 30 years. He's an accountant and financial consultant. He's going to share with us today how to do proper documentation of our business so that we not get into trouble with IRS. Thank you all for being here. I would like to start off with Dr. Leke and Mr. Frank Saruni, entrepreneurs. So I will, Mr. Tarumi and Mr. Leke are gonna be moved in between both of you, asking questions. I will start from Dr. Leke first. Dr. Leke, what led you to be an entrepreneur?
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Leke Otunuga. I am a business owner. I've been doing this for 16 years. First of all, one has to really do an appraisal of himself and his situation and his circumstance. Some people are not made to be employees because of the peculiar characteristics of their self. I'd always known that I wasn't made to be an employee. When I was working, I used to get into trouble a lot. I ask too much questions, and I always have alternative views and positions to what my bosses and management had. And I had this strong conviction about what I can do different and what I can do better if I am given that opportunity. So going to business is a no-brainer for me. So what led me into business? Apart from my personal drive and flair, I also believe that, some things make you complete, Uh, this is not about money. It is not about title or position. It is about the self. Um, some people are not complete until they start doing what they know to do best or which they feel they know to do best. So going into business is really, really personal to me. It's something that I wanted to do. Thank you.
Um, Thank you for that submission. So why medical field? But I know your background is initially is not on the medical line. So why why medical field?
Oh, okay. Yes, before I started in the medical field, I delved into consulting. Because of my background, I used to consult for those who are going into various kind of businesses. I write policies and procedures for them, and I do other types of consulting, write business plans and all that. So having done all this research, on behalf of others, and I realized that this is something that it's that I can do based on my research and my knowledge of it. It was just an easy decision for me to go into that field.
Thank you.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
I would like to go to Mrs. Sarumi. Mrs. Sarumi, what's your journey so far as an entrepreneur? Sir?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frank Serumi. I'm a software engineer by profession, and prior to that, I served in the military back in Nigeria. And since I moved over to the US, I've been in software. I've been in the IT field. I worked initially as a full-time employee with companies like a Sienna Corporation that deals with fiber optics. And I worked for Tiro Price as a lead in one of their ERP systems. Then I went consulting in 2005. So I went independent in 2005. That's like 15 years ago, June 2005. Actually, once you go consulting and you become an independent software engineer, you actually have to register your business and you get on contract and then you do stuff as an entity now, an LLC, which was what I registered. What actually led me into going into consulting? One, I have the skills then, and I think maybe I should take my skills on the road. And also, another thing that led me into going independent has to do with race relations at work. I was working with a company then, and I didn't like the way I was being treated by colleagues and senior colleagues, supervisors, managers who are of different skin color to myself. So I got a little bit upset with that, and I realized that I need to get out. If not, it's not going to be okay for me working in that environment. So I did. I went consulting, and ever since then, I've not looked back. So entrepreneurship, to me, just like Dr. Leki Otununga said, it comes with passion. It comes with what you believe in and what you can do. Sometimes it's not about money. And like I used to tell my son or the younger ones or even friends that when you have the skills, right, money will look for you because of the skills. People will look for your skills and you make the money. But when you make money, the priority of doing what you're doing, most times you may not really end up very well with it. So I always advise people to have the required skills first, because that's what you're going to sell. One thing I learned in this country, living in the US, is you learn to sell yourself. And for you to sell yourself, it's like you're going for a job interview. They're asking you, okay, what are you bringing on the table? The thing is, you must acquire the skills first. When you have the skills, Then you sell yourself. When you sell yourself, then definitely you're gonna make the money. And when you do that, like in my vocation, in the career I chose, you also have to keep updating yourself, keep sharpening your skills so that at any point in time you can be marketable. It's just like Microsoft's software company. They deal with operating systems. They go from version Windows 8, Windows 9, then Windows 10. They keep improving on themselves, and then they keep marketing themselves. So being an entrepreneur, one, it comes with passion, with what you believe in. Two, you must have the required skills. And then three, you don't make money your first priority when you're going into a business. You must have the passion for it, and you must acquire the skills. And once you're good at what you do, then you're going to reap the benefit of what you're doing. So going back to the question why I went into into an entrepreneur, yeah, circumstances in which I was working then, I didn't like it. And secondly, I thought, okay, I have the skills, I'll take my skills on the road. And that's what I've done. That's what I did, and that's what I'm still doing now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that submission. What I'm hearing from both of you, there must be a challenge. There must be a challenge before you get to where you are right now. So I'll go back to Dr. Leke. Dr. Leke, do you want to share the challenge and the success of your business with us?
Yes, definitely. Business is like, or should I say, it's almost like everything that we set out to do in life. Anything that changes your focus, anything that puts, your attention, that attracts your attention in a certain way. Whatever we want to do for longer than 4 hours a day has challenges. Business is a 24-hour a day thing. When everybody is sleeping, you are awake, especially at the formation stage. While your employees are waiting for the bi-weekly check, you are praying that those 2 weeks, run faster than they are supposed to run, because the formation stage of the business is very, very challenging. You have the challenge of starting up, but let's assume that we already start up. You have the challenge of looking for clients. You have the challenge of sustaining the clients. You have the challenge of finances to run the business, to make sure it doesn't go aground, because there are bills that you need to pay. You need to pay, your running expenses. You also need to pay your staff. And you are not working for free as well. Even though you are working for yourself, you still have to pay yourself because you have personal bills. So those are the challenges. And then Mr. Sarumi mentioned something that is very important. The environment of business is not bread and butter, especially if you're Black in this country, and especially if you speak the way I do. There are those challenges as well. So we cannot overbeat this, the challenges of time, the challenges of resources, the challenges of clientele. They all, they are all out there, staring you in the face. Now, how do you surmount those challenges? That's a different ball game altogether.
So I would like to go back to Mr. Sarome. To go back to you, Dr. Leke just talk to us, share with us the challenges of running a business, especially its own field, medical field. And I'm asking you now that you are a contract business man. So I'm asking you, do you face any challenges as well with this business?
Yes, there are challenges in everything you do in life. There are challenges. They might be small, they might be big, and then you always find a way to circumvent it or to deal with it. The challenges that you have, one, like in my field, when you go out to look to get a project, to, you know, It depends on the project you're going to work on, the people you're going to be working with, the duration of the project. You're right. The challenges come in that prior to COVID-19, right? Most projects you have to be on site to work. It could be far. You might have to travel to site to client locations and back on way. So you may have to travel a lot. That might affect your family. And since COVID-19 started, right, people get to work a lot from the house. Although on my project in the last, let me say, last 8 years, I've been working home like 80% of the time. The other challenges too has to do with human relations, the people that you work with at work, right? Particularly those of us with the skin color that we have. You know, you have to deal with people of different culture, different background, different races. You know, some are just outrightly crazy. You know, you have to deal with, so the human nature, the human aspect of it. You know, you have to deal with that so that so that you don't get bumps along the road on the project until you move to another project. Then the other challenges I see too has to do with how you manage your finances, because so that you don't get in trouble with the IRS, because you have to manage that. You must be able to do your quarterly tax payment, what they call the estimates, and you have to juggle things around so that you don't get in trouble with the IRS. So in my field of work, those are the challenges I see. One, the human relationship between you and co-workers on a project. Two, how you go about getting to work. You know, there could be a lot of travels involved. You know, with families, getting dealing with family issues and stuff like that. And three, finances, how you deal with your finances, so you don't get in trouble with the IRS.
Okay. Thank you so much for that perspective, Mr. Sabumi. As both of you have shared with us the challenges you face in different aspects of your business, but there must be a success story as well. Do you like to share that with us, so that will encourage you that it's not only the challenges, so that you not discourage us from going into the business. So I will start off again with Dr. Leke.
Yes, ma'am.
I was asking that both of you and Mr. Sabumi have shared with us the challenges you face in your business. So, and I'm also saying that the challenges will be there for sure, but we also need to hear your success story, because that must be something that make you doing the business up to this. So you said you have spent like 16 years, right? So that must be a success story to it as well, that keeping you doing the business. So do you like to share some of them with us?
Oh yes, I don't know if you like to be bored with my story, but I will just summarize. One of the things that keeps an entrepreneur going is, when, despite all the challenges, when you know that you record success. First off, we understand that business has its ups and downs, but the average summation of everything, if your ups are more than the downs, then you are recording success. So our going power is the realization that despite everything, one has been able to survive, and make a decent living, decent wage from all of these efforts. So that is the first thing. Then secondly, the fact that one is leaving behind a trail of clients who are very happy with what we do. I spent the most part of this morning talking to the family member of a client, family members, actually two of them, of a client, and they took all my church time this morning, so to speak. That's one of the challenges. You don't actually have a set time You might, as a businessman, you can plan something for 9 a.m. tomorrow or 9 p.m. tomorrow. Business requirements might crop up that will make you cancel that appointment. Some appointments you even forget to cancel. And because of that, you have people who are angry with you. But if they understand what you do, then they understand. So part of the things that keep us going is, number one, you are making a difference within your community. Number two, you are you are creating very happy clients who will want to recommend you in a heartbeat, even without you prompting them. They just go ahead and recommend your business and your service. Number two, you're making a decent wage doing what you do.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Leke, for that submission. Going back to you, Mr. Sarumi. So,
Talking about successes,
yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, I've been lucky to have recorded some along the way in this journey. I've worked on projects whereby after the project you get commended for your input into the project, and financially, well, it's been rewarding, so to say. So, but besides money, you besides money, you feel elated when on a project, on a setup project that you're involved in. You're a part of the team that starts and finishes, and you look at yourself and you're like, okay, yes, I've done a good job, and people around you kind of justifies that too by giving you a commendation of what you've done. So these are part of the success stories along the line. So, and like I said, financially too, I mean, it's been rewarding.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, I would like to hear your opinion and your submission regarding the pandemic on your business. How does that affect your business, Dr. Tunuga? During the pandemic, is it affected you? Is it for good or for the bad?
Well, considering the nature of what we do, the pandemic has almost no effect on the business. Negative, that is, there are really no effects because the nature, the environment of our business is not typical. It's not like you run a grocery store or you run a bar wherein they say, okay, everything is shut down or is cool. We're in the healthcare business, and pandemic or no pandemic, people need help. So there really was no disruption whatsoever in our business.
In the business? So that means you're saying during this pandemic, your business is not affected at all. So is it
Not at all.
or
It,
it's more
it remains stable. Yes, it remains stable.
stable? Okay. All right. Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Sarumi, what about your hand?
Yes, same thing here too. I guess we've been lucky. I mean, to not be affected by the COVID since this started in the early part of this year. So, but in my industry, right, it has affected a lot of companies whereby they've had to downsize on the sizes of their staff, which has affected many people in the IT industry. And I've just been lucky that the project I'm working on now in the last 8 years, it was not, it was going to affect it, but I think the government just kind of rally around and make sure that things are okay. So, but generally speaking, it has affected a lot of people in the industry. But I think in my case, I've been lucky to dodge the bullet. So, so that's it.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So what is your plan, Dr. Leke? What are you working on regarding post-COVID?
We plan to expand. Right now, we're working on expanding into other states, and that's what we've been doing for the past 3 months. What COVID has does is actually to open up opportunities in some areas that one was not thinking about before COVID. So, we are just trying to see how we can leverage on exploring the opportunities that there is that COVID has created. So still the same thing, but expanding, beyond the immediate territory.
That's the good news.
Thank you.
Is it Salome? So,
Okay.
are you
Post
working on anything that you would like to share with us?
yes, post COVID. I mean, personally, post COVID, I'm I'm trying to get into another phase of entrepreneurship now, post COVID, which is looking into opportunities way beyond the shores of the US, probably in the African countries. So that's in plan, and hopefully, if there's a vaccine by next year, and one can travel freely, and then one will put that into perspective and start working on it. So that's the next step now, post COVID.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you so much, Dr. Leke and Mr. Salome, for your submission. I think our audience, they learn one or two things, whether you're already in business or you're about to start a business. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will,
You're welcome.
thank you, sir. So I will call on to Shay, my co-host, to take over from here.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Oluwase Oladigbolu, and I'm a college student at pharmacy school. So next up, the next session that we have, we saved for all about how to start a business. And the reason why we decided that we would have this segment is because if you have like an idea or a hobby that you know you want to turn into a business, a lot of us have lots of questions as to what to do from there. Questions like, how do I advertise my product? How do I even know if my product's going to be useful to people? To questions like, what kind of research do I have to do when it comes to searching for things like my customer and my market and how I'm going to compete with other people? So with us today to speak on that is Mr. Wilson, who happens to tutor other people on how to start successful businesses. So he's pretty much the ideal person to speak to about this. So, Mr. Wilson, the first question I have for you is, what's the first thing that we need to know as upcoming entrepreneurs?
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Um, Before answer your question, just want to say, I'm really encouraged by what this forum is doing to encourage young people, especially to start the business. And first of all, I'm going to start with just giving you a little bit of some statistics, which I think it may be at least to serve as a background for what I'm going to say. Number one, every month in the United States, according to the Global Entrepreneurship Institute, you have over 500 new businesses are created every month. 500,000 new businesses every month, which is 12.7% of the American population is working to start a business. That means 1 out of every 8 are looking to start a business. You understand? And it's funny, but let me just throw some other costs in there. Men are twice as likely as women to start a business. So entrepreneurs most likely launch their businesses between the ages of 35 to 44. But there's a lot of people in the 18 to 24 range who are still in school, like yourself, who want to start a business and who see entrepreneurship as a very good choice. And now, because entrepreneurship is all about solving a problem, having a need, seeing how you can solve a problem. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, so that may help. So basically, what you need to start as an entrepreneur is, number one, the desire. You want to solve a problem. There's a problem. There's a need, and trust me, there are problems in the world. It doesn't matter that you think that all the problems are not solved. They're creating new ones. They're creating new problems every day, and the problems are being solved by different people who are making money. I heard what the couple of last couple of speakers talked about, and you can see the passion in starting their own business. And one of the things that you want to see in them is the ability for them to solve a problem. Again, I'll give you a couple of stories that tells you how, where anybody you can start a business, but there's some things that will sustain you in starting the business. I've been fortunate to start a few businesses in my past, and also fortunate to advise quite a bit of people into starting their business, what they need to do, what they need to focus on. So I know that I might have gone beyond the question, but I just wanted to lay a little bit of foundation, Shay. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, so then another question that I thought was pretty important we cover in our time is a lot of times the most important thing we worry about when we're first starting off with a business is money, because sometimes we don't have enough cash to start off by ourselves. So I was kind of just wondering, how do we apply for like a loan for our business, or do we just fundraise our own money, or what do you think about that?
Well, to start a business, money is not often the best time. Though it's an escapist theory. I like to think like that. That if you don't want to start, then you can say, "Oh, because I don't have money." But money is actually on the top 10 list of things to start a business. Money is actually number 9. It is not the most important thing. There's several things you need to see when you want to start a business. And I'm going to lay some foundation. And of course, you have to, when you want to start a business, okay, you have to think of what is it that you're trying to solve? What are you trying to do? So that's the first thing you want to do. What do you want? What problem do you want to solve? You understand? And how do you want to do it? So what do you want to solve? So you have to determine exactly what your business is going to be about. And you know, the life path is so funny, such that you may even start out with something and then change to another thing along the way. Let me give you an example. I was talking to one of my mentees. You know, it's like a daughter to me, and she was talking, and she was trying to solve a problem of languages. People like you were born in this country, but all of us have native languages, and we don't teach our children. Research shows that maybe 70–80% of the people that live here speak English to their children. That's a problem, because there's a possibility that a lot of our languages are going to die. If we are gone, most likely our children are not going to do, unless something is done about it. And languages play an important role in the culture of people. So this young lady started a company, and the issue is this: she wants her children to learn. First, our children were learning Chinese in school. They say, "Wait a minute, I'm African. Why won't my children learn my African language?" So guess what she did? She thought about it, had a partner, and they started a language company. I forgot, it's called Partners Tree or something, Language Tree or something like that. And they just started about a few months ago. And guess what? It's learning trees. Now they just started the company, and they now have about maybe 50 or so customers. People are suddenly deciding that, you know what, I want my child to learn about Yoruba, Igbo, and stuff like that. And then they expanded the languages to some other African languages. So what I'm saying is, there's a need. Money was not the base thing. The first thing, you know, they have a need. They found out how they were going to do it. It's now Zoom has made a lot of things easy. Guess what? I just spoke about Zoom. Zoom was a business that's been in existence for like maybe a few years, but it was nothing, no biggie. They have Zoom, we have WebEx, they have all kinds of other online platforms, which were solving a need. But COVID now brought this into the forefront, that, you know what, we need we need a platform that will be very fluid, that people can use. And here we go, Zoom. Suddenly now the guy becomes a billionaire from a company that was in the back shelf. Now he has become a billionaire, he has investors. So these are the key elements you want to see. You're solving a problem. And you find out that even though Zoom might have been in the back burner for a few years, it suddenly just grew to something that is needed. WhatsApp is the same thing. Started as a company from a young guy just doing his thing and put it on the back burner. Suddenly there's a need for it. It took over from BlackBerry. I don't know if you know what BlackBerry is. BlackBerry was one of those old platforms. Now suddenly everybody shifts to WhatsApp, and then now you have TikTok. Young billionaires are being born every day based off ideas. So what you think is not useful, if you start to solve a problem, you will see that if you sit down, you will start to see how to make that. And I was talking about some of the ways that you can fund your ideas. There's a lot of ways that you can fund the ideas. I'll talk about them. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. Okay, so then another question that I had in mind was how to research your market and your customers, because I know that one important part of business is, of course, getting yourself out there, and it's important to find customers that you know are going to buy your product. I was just wondering if there's certain people you have to talk to get to know your target audience, or there are certain resources online or out there that I can use in order to find my target audience.
Okay, yeah, that's a very great question. The target audience are oftentimes when you have an idea, there are resources that can help you. A lot of government help. There's what's called the Small Business Administration (SBA), which helps small people. I mean, people who are starting businesses for small, maybe from 0 to maybe like 1,000 employees or something like that. People that have those kind of businesses or ideas, they help them to grow. They help to fund them and how to do a market research. There's some companies that actually help you with. I used to do some consulting back overseas, and there was a United States agency that will give us money to go and do research overseas in Africa on the scientific research. So there's a lot of resources out there. And like I told you, if you need some, I sent some resources to Miss Shibolola, and you can email Bill's launch, and then he will send you some of those resources. But yes, the resources to help a young person or even people who, it doesn't matter whatever age you want to get into business, there's always resources available for you. And again, I'm going to go through some of the financing options. If you let me, maybe in a few minutes, I'll go through some of the financing options. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. So for the audience again, like Mr. Wilson said, if you need any help on resources on how to start your business, you can always email info@viewslounge.com, and we'll be happy to link you up with those resources.